Hi, and welcome to this week's version of our live. And I'm super excited to have another fellow Kiwi with me today, the amazing Di from far north New Zealand. So we actually probably can't get any further apart if we tried in New Zealand here at this stage. But Di is a force here and has led a number of initiatives over the years in the New Zealand bookkeeping and accounting industry. So I'm going to bring her on to talk about the journey. And as we're just talking about, over about the last 18 plus years of running her business. So Di, welcome.
Hey.
It's awesome to have you here. And super excited just to chat and see where the conversation flows as well. It's going to be awesome.
So excited to be here. It's very cool. Yep. Thanks for having me.
That's okay. This is like my weekly challenge because it's talking, but it's something that's kind of outside of my comfort zone. So in Mel's comfort zone, but outside mine.
Hey, you've got to push yourself out there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So for those that are watching and listening, tell us a little bit about you and your journey, where you're from, how you got into business.
Well, it's quite a story, really. I guess my journey started about 18 and a half years ago. At the time, I was a solo mum with two little kids. My youngest had some pretty big health challenges and had started school, and it was, always hard when you're working for a government department. So I was working for an organisation called the Ministry of Fisheries, and in that very kind of corporate environment to get time off to look after your children. Back then, we're in a particularly flexible environment to be in. And I had a second job doing the bookwork for a plumber, doing his invoicing and his payroll and, paying his bills and all of that kind of stuff. And I kind of had a bit of a light bulb moment, I guess, that there must be many other tradies that needed help, right? There was, they're out working all day. They're not necessarily married anymore. There was, lots of divorces happening around that time. And these guys were then spending, or even if there wasn't divorces, but, they're spending their time at night doing their bookwork. The wife was out working if they were married as well. And, and they might have children to look after. And, where do you find time to do that? We all know the story, right? We all know the story. So for me, it was a bit of a light bulb moment that kind of went, well, here's an opportunity that I could take to see if I can get a few more clients. So I still have my 20-hour a week working for the government job.
Amazing.
I started a business doing bookkeeping, and my plumbing client was my first client as a business, and set about building a little empire to help support myself and my children.
Amazing.
So that's where the journey started. In my business, but my journey with bookkeeping and accounting started a lot earlier than that, obviously. And that goes back to I did accounting at school and was useless at it. I know the debits and credits, and what are you talking about? It's all back to front. It doesn't make any sense. So anyway, we did go to work in an accountant's office, and that kind of just didn't work out for me. It was not my space. That very kind of, I guess, patriarchal environment that accountant's offices were, especially back, 20 some years ago, or probably getting close to 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so the evolution of Di working in many different industries, I ended up working for Turners and Growers in Auckland in the head office, and did some work under the accountant there, and that's where the light bulbs all went on, and it made sense. We're filling out these big ledger books and journal books, and it's like it just went bang, just dropped in one day, and I still remember that light bulb coming on, and I was like, oh, right, I get it. And it just kind of grew from there. So.
Isn't it amazing? Like, because I remember one of my first jobs when I was probably like 21, and I had to learn how to do accounts payable. I think it was on the accounts payable side, in this massive green ledger book. It was huge.
Oh, great,
And
weren't they?
they were amazing.
Makes sense, because every line and every column had to add up.
Yeah. Until a trauma moment for me. My boss at that stage, she came along and she's like, "There's a problem, find it." And that was her way of teaching, which was not a good way of teaching.
No, okay, yeah, way to go.
Yeah, especially when you're only like 21, like
Yeah,
definitely. So that must have been massive, like for you to see, like me, that evolution from ledger books to what we're doing now.
Oh, it's been an amazing journey. Like, wow, amazing. So even going from ledger books when I was working for other people into starting my business, and kind of, there was software out there. There was the MYB, I think, there was QuickBooks, were probably the two players at that stage, and that I was aware of. I chose to go down the MYB route, and I bought MYB, what is Account right now, but MYB version 12. So we're talking quite a few years ago. And I taught myself completely how to use the software, but because I had the knowledge of double entry bookkeeping, how that worked from a journal space and from a practical handwriting it all out, the software made sense, and I could understand what was going on. When I do this happens, and that affects the balance sheet, and that affects the P&L, and that affects, it was just like all made sense to me. So yeah, it was a huge evolution. And of course now through to software online, access from anywhere. Back then it was disc, you had to buy discs, load it into your computer, and and that was it. Like, you had to you could only work on that computer, like that was it. So very, very different environment to today.
Isn't it amazing? And do you find that those that are coming into the industry now that are learning that there's a different way of learning, or something that needs to be taught, I guess?
Yeah, I think there's a real misconnect with, and no offense to new bookkeepers, it's just, the software's there to do it for you, but there seems to be a real misconnect around what is actually going on. So instead of learning bookkeeping, we're learning software, right? And there's a format of bookkeeping within that, but I think it's not teaching you the workings underneath all that software, and how that all comes together, and what that means, and the effect this has on that. If software doesn't teach you that, software teaches you, if I do this, this happens. Yeah. Whereas bookkeeping is the fundamentals of what that software is built on, and that's not necessarily being taught or learnt in the bookkeeping space. So not that it's wrong, but I think if you've got that innate understanding of double entry bookkeeping and how all that works from the grassroots, it's going to hold you in good stead big time moving forward.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it has been such an evolution, like, and a quick one.
Yeah, very quick, really. When I think, what am I, nearly 19 years in business.
Yeah.
And the evolution I've seen in that time, gosh, it makes me feel really old. It doesn't feel like that long, but it obviously is. The changes have just been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
And that must have been
a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And because I think, I ran my business for a few years and saw a lot of change in that time. But for you must have, like, what are some big milestones that you've seen over the last nearly 19 years in business, and that can be, I guess, applied to now as well, like the situation, because none of us have been through what we're going through now. But like none of us have gone through a recession back in the day, or a war, etc.
You
must have some learning.
A couple of GFCs, what feels like a couple of GFCs in that time. I guess the bookkeeping industry, when I started bookkeeping, it was all very much on site at your client's place of work, using potentially software that they owned. I quite quickly change that into working from home for a lot of the smaller guys who just literally they still come now, right? They've got a shoebox full of receipts and go, help, I need to do a tax return, I need to do a GST return.
Yeah.
So, we had those back then too. And they're the ones I started kind of building my business on and working from, because I wanted to be able to work from home, not necessarily be on site everywhere, because that defeats the purpose of being there for my children.
Yes.
And but yeah, it was creating that flexibility around that. But yeah, there's definitely been huge shifts of working on site to working off site to going back on site again. So we've got quite a mix now of with my team, of clients that we go on site to and do the work there, and it's all managed on site, to the other side of the coin where nothing's on site, it's all online, it's clients all over the country, it's all done that way. So really depends on the business, the size of the business, the amount of other people involved, different activities that the business has to do that you might be a part of that cog in the wheel, and what that looks like. So, but yes, definitely evolved a lot along with the software, to allow you to do that. So yeah.
Exactly. And the resilience that you must have seen through your business and through clients' businesses as well over that time.
Yeah, there's been some huge challenges. Obviously the GFC was a huge challenge back 2007-ish, 9-ish. Can't even tell you when that was now. But yeah, just and the challenges people are going through now is it's really, really hard for some of these guys, and to be able to support them as much as we can and hold their hand and give them some comfort and reassurance that everything's been dealt with on this side. It's kind of one less thing they have to worry about. They just it's really been part of their team, which is that's what pulls my heart. It's like, that's what our business is built on, is really the connection we have with our clients, the connection my team have with each other, and I think that's a little bit of our USP, which makes us a little bit special. And bookkeepers are like that, right? We're heart-driven people. We just want to help. We're empathetic, and we do an amazing job. So yeah, hats off to all you bookkeepers out there supporting your clients through some really challenging couple of years that we've had.
Exactly. And that's where I feel very privileged with Mel to have been alongside and helping to support everybody through this in our way as well.
Absolutely. You guys are doing an amazing job, because I just think there's such a need for business owners to have that experience to support. And some of them still don't know it, but the need for bookkeepers, the need for specialists in different fields is getting bigger and bigger. So therefore the industry is getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are going, starting their own business to help people in this area, or coming to work for bookkeeping businesses. I've got there's 9 on my team now. It's I never wanted more than 3 staff. I don't know how it happened. I've now got 9. There's 9 of us, including me. It's like, how did that happen?
That's amazing.
Well, it's there's a need. So it's like, well, it's a need I can fill. I can train people and get people under me, train them up, get them doing it right. And there's not everyone wants to go out in business, but they still want to be a really good bookkeeper and do a really good job. And I'm just take my hat off to my girls who do that. They're incredible. So very lucky.
Yeah, we all have our different purpose and what we're meant to be doing in life, I think, and that's really that's really cool. And some are to build the empires, and depending what size of empire that is, and others it's to just get in and do and help and be the support.
It's all around your why, isn't it? You've always got to bring it back to your why. I've always my why obviously started with my children. That was my why initially, and I'm one of these people. I get bored very quickly, and I've got a very, very active mind. In fact, I drive my staff mad, my team mad. And don't tell them I said that, but it's true. And so within 2 years of starting my business, I was super, super busy, and I was like, I'm actually bored. I'm actually bored with doing what was then a lot of data entry. A lot of data entry, some reporting, some wages, but a lot of data entry. It was like, oh, I don't want to be doing this. So it's like, well, I've got to make a decision. I came to a crossroads, right? And it's that point where you get to where it's like, do I want to grow this business?
Yep.
Or do I want to go and do something else?
Yeah.
Like I've kind of cracked this now. You know, I know what I'm doing. I'm not learning anything else. Doing what I'm doing. What's next for me? And at that point, it was like a real pivotal point in my career, because I chose at that stage to go, well, actually, my why is changing. Yes, I'm still here for my girls, but my why was changing because I could see the need. I could see the need, and I could see the difference it made having someone in there supporting these clients doing what we were doing. And so my why evolved over time into what it is and has been for a long time now, which is around successful businesses create successful communities. Right. So it's like, how can I support people to do that?
Yeah.
Because that's my vision, that's my why. And so everything I've done ever since has had that at the forefront. Like that's my end goal. So I changed what I was doing. I was a sole trader at that stage. It's like, right, we're going to create a company. This was in 2005. We're going to create a company. We're going to start employing staff. Never employed staff in my life. Never managed staff in my life. Oh, well, I'm one of these people who just kind of go, oh, we'll give it a crack.
Yeah.
Sometimes to my detriment. But I am a risk taker. I am a bit of a risk taker. And I think I've always kind of backed myself. I wouldn't say I've always been full of confidence. I definitely haven't. I've suffered from all sorts of confidence issues in the past. In fact, at school, let me tell you, actually at this point even, so I'll put it on this point. I started BNI. Right. At this point. No, that was in 2007. I started BNI. So a couple of years after I started my company. And for those of you who know what BNI is Business Networking International. So it's a business networking group that you belong to. And you all get 60 seconds to stand up and do your elevator pitch. What do you want this week? What do you want the people to know this week? Yeah. And it would go around the room like this and literally be coming towards me. And I'm like literally vomiting in my shirt because it's like, oh my God, I've got to stand up and talk to these people. Yeah. That's how shy I was. It was terrible. I was like that all through school. Wow. Yeah, it was, I wouldn't say boo to a mouse. Look at me now. Wow. You can't shut me out these days. No. But yeah, so here I am. I'm going to employ staff. How do we do that? I don't know. Let's look it up. Let's figure out what we need to do. Honestly, don't do what I did. It's probably not the best way to do it. But I did learn. I'm very much a hands-on learner, right? So that's how I learned. And one of my biggest stories, I guess, or stories from my life or my childhood that I had brought through into my business was, if you want to achieve something, you have to do it yourself. You don't ask for help, you got to go and do it, right? So that's kind of what I grew up with. So here's me trying to start this business, trying to employ staff. It's like, I can't ask for help. I just need to figure it out. Yeah. What was I thinking? What if I knew then what I knew now, right? So don't feel like dying and don't ask for help. There's so much help out there, honestly. Yep. There is so much help out there. And the likes of, the beautiful Anna and Mel from Bookkeepers Revolution. There is help everywhere for you to learn what you need to know to support your clients and to do what you need to do. Yeah. And that's what I did. That's what I didn't do, sorry. And I had staff kind of come and go, and we kind of, figured out kind of how this worked as a manager. And I got into my groove a couple of years later, and since then had some very long-term staff on board, some amazing team. And I pretty much kind of went, this was my experience at my government department as an employee. Mm-hmm. That's not where we're going. I ain't going to be doing that, right? So it was all around creating a family-friendly environment, a very flexible working environment, and understanding very quickly that some of my team knew way more than I did about different subjects or different things, and that I could actually learn from them as well. Like, that was another light bulb moment. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have to know everything. Wow.
And that's such a good, like, finding those people to slot into their genius zone and having them
Yeah,
happy in that, whatever
yeah,
that might be,
yeah.
is so important.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And so, like I said earlier, I get bored very quickly. So it's like, okay, I'm bored doing the data entry. I need to employ someone to do that.
Yes.
Get them in, train them up. We
Yeah.
change how we're doing things. We evolve the processes. That's awesome. What's next for Di? Okay, let's get more clients to keep busy. And I still need to do something. So what am I going to do? I'm going to learn payroll. I've got to employ my staff. Right, I'm going to dig into payroll and really started, learning more and more and more. And so this is what I did: is I build part of the business, and I go, okay, I'm done with that. What next? Employ someone to do that. What's next on my list? So my business has evolved hugely from bookkeeping, payroll. Then we got into accounting, annual accounts, tax returns, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, let's figure out how all this works. Dear accountant in Whangarei, Jeremy, love you to bits, who loved what I was doing with a mutual client.
Yeah.
And I would pick apart everything he's done. Why have you done that? Why have you moved that? What does that mean? And this is how I learned accounting. Right?
Amazing.
It's like, yeah. And so he basically mentored me through all my insistent questions. And I'd research, figure it out and try and understand why they were doing what they were doing and how that came about. And that's how I learned accounting. I now employ accountants, but I became a tax agent at that stage because ID asked me to. I was filing a few tax returns, including my own, and they're like, can you just do this, because this would be really cool. Okay, that'll be great. And so we fell into accounting. Amazing. So bookkeeping, payroll, accounting. What's next?
Yes.
Yeah. So what came next was getting into the business development space, cash flow planning, cash flow forecasting, starting to obviously between that and that there was lots of software changes. So it was there was learning new software. Xero came on board, new way of working, getting into bookkeepers associations and finding out there's all this support out there. And then the evolution of that into business development, business advisory type stuff. And I focus on cash flow because bookkeepers are at the heart of cash flow for a business. So, cash flow forecasting, cash flow management, teaching clients all about that so that they have an understanding, because if they don't have an understanding, you can't have those conversations and they don't know where they're at with their business, right? So it's around opening conversations. And then I've just developed a service outside of that too, which is financial fitness training. And that's, so you've got cash flow and cash flow management for with the client, and then you've got financial fitness training, which is literally digging into anything and everything financially related with the business, with the client, so that they have an innate understanding of what's going on, whether it's pricing, whether it's it's different to the cash flow forecasting and cash flow management. We're actually managing the cash flow. This is around digging in, understanding the numbers and getting the financial fitness muscles.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So between that and, that's all evolving as well, which is really cool. And then I've gone on a slight segue from there too.
Yeah. So what's the segue? I've been seeing some advertising happening, and it's interesting to, because I think this is a huge one for a lot of people, is that like a lot of people are just more than happy, just get in, get the clients, do what you need to do, life's good. But if you ask someone like us who's like, okay, what's next? Not necessarily shiny new object syndrome, but okay, I've nailed that. What's next? So what
else where's my next challenge, right? Where's my next challenge? What am I going to get my teeth into? And I'm someone who always needs to be challenged. So I'm very good at challenging myself.
I love that.
Not always a good thing, but
it is a good thing. It is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It keeps me excited, right? It keeps me interested in what I'm doing, which is really cool. But my next foray is a little project that's kind of been in the back of my mind for probably a good 12 months, and maybe even a little bit longer, maybe 18 months. It's kind of been percolating in the back of my head while I was, so for those of you that don't know, I was the president of the Institute of Certified New Zealand Bookkeepers and New Zealand Bookkeepers Association up until February this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been able to now give the headspace to what was percolating in the back of my mind, which has been really exciting, and it's kind of just evolved and developed very much in my head. I'm not someone to sit down and write a big plan out. I'm not that type of person. I kind of live in my head. And then what came to me was I'd always wanted to educate business owners more around. So this is where it all started, around bookkeeping processes, right? For those, there were those that potentially were starting business, couldn't necessarily afford to come and get 2 or 3 or 4 hours of training one-on-one with us. And this is one of the areas that kind of started percolating was, well, how can I do a one-to-many? What does that look like? So I can actually get, teach the underlying bookkeeping processes, not necessarily learn how to do zero, but so that they got more understanding of what's going on with their numbers and what impact this action has on this, so really dig into that. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to build a bookkeeping course then, and teach small business owners how to do bookkeeping. And of course, there's a huge need in the bookkeeping community for education for bookkeepers as well. It's like, you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's something I've always had in my mind. I don't know what I don't know, so how do I know what I need to know? And so then it was like, I felt really cool to move that from the small business owners to the bookkeepers for bookkeeping course.
Amazing.
So I started building and developing out a course for that, and wireframing that out, and what would that look like, and what have you. And then I kept getting pulled, and it's like, payroll. I don't know, for those of you who are doing payroll, holy moly, what a minefield that is, right?
Yeah.
My biggest concern is the number of people doing payroll that do not understand the legislation, do not understand the calculations, and that believe the software providers when they say, our software does it all for you, you just got to punch in the numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We all know how that's gone for the likes of, all of these people like Bunnings and, the MB themselves. Hello. It's huge and it's scary, and there's so much happening so quickly this year around payroll, holidays act, the new holiday mind blank thing that they're, the holidays act upgrade that's going through government for bringing in more calculations to do annual leave, and I can't. It's like total mind blank. I can't think what it's called.
It's fine. I have these moments as well.
And now they want to bring in fair pay agreements. How is payroll going to deal with all this? This is, payroll is a profession. It's not a back office job that it used to be years ago. It's not the job for the receptionist to, you can just do payroll as well. Well, hello, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. And people are uneducated, whether it's the business owner or the bookkeeper. And where do the bookkeepers go to get education for this? How do they get education and support? So as you can see, I'm very passionate about this. And so I've pivoted again and gone, actually, we're going to start with payroll. We're going to start with a payroll course.
Amazing.
So that's what's been brewing or percolating in my head, and what's come about, and what is actually kicking off on the 4th of October, Payroll for Professionals. So that's for those like you in the bookkeeping industry who want to deliver payroll as a service to your clients. I'm going to teach you what you need to know.
Amazing. And so is it solely for the professionals in that way, or could somebody who is actually working for a company and going, I just need to be upskilled, jump in as well?
So this particular one, yes, they could, but it's more focused on payroll as a profession.
Yeah.
So you're delivering it as a service to your client. Yeah. So there's going to be different stuff in there around, your requirements as a payroll professional, which won't be relevant to someone in bookkeeping. Yeah. The next course, which is for the business owners and the people who want to upskill in the payroll field, is kicking off on the 9th of February next year.
Awesome.
So that's booked in, and people can book into that now. It's all on our
Amazing.
website. Yeah.
Amazing.
But just really cool to support the bookkeepers. Like, you know, this is all around successful communities, right? So successful businesses creating successful communities. And if I can, like, I've been doing that within my business and my clients and my team, how can I have a bigger impact? And how can I create those ripples to go even further? And that's by teaching bookkeepers and payroll professionals how to do payroll, because the impact of that, they can then teach their clients or their staff, or you know, they can on share their knowledge.
Yeah.
And create those ripples so that, you know, the education gets lifted. Yeah, that's kind of
I love that, because I have such a passion for small business and for people in business. Excuse me. But and I know, like, when I had my bookkeeping business, to be able to see this pressure come off a business owner and for them to understand what was going on was huge. And then when I went to work for Xero, I was like, oh my goodness, I can do this on a grand scale. I can, like, teach 500 bookkeepers and accountants, and they're all teaching X number of people.
Yeah, so those ripples.
That impact is just so much bigger. And that just,
a little harder, right? It's just I'm very much a heart-led person, and this is just what lights me up.
Same. And seeing, because I've still got some just those memories in your head of seeing my IT guy saying, no one's ever touched my MyOb file, and I just said to him, you're never touching it again. Like, and then just fixing it and building an amazing relationship with his suppliers and his customers, and just taking it and him just getting on doing what he loves.
And I think what's one lesson that I've learned over the years, or they've kind of lived by, I suppose, is if you're not passionate about what you're doing, don't do it, change it. You know, so you've got to be passionate about what you're doing, and that's what's led me down the rabbit holes I've been down in the evolution of on-track bookkeeping and Crawford-Errington, and where does that go and what does that look like? And it's been a heck of a journey, and if I can share my knowledge with people that helps them, then that is just amazing. It's really cool.
That is so cool, and it's just so just so ingrained in you. Like, every time I see you with someone, like, over the years, it's that glow is just coming from you, which is amazing.
Thank you.
It's really cool.
I love what I do. What I do.
And you're right.
And that's why I did that. Sorry, what was that?
Your team are amazing. They got me sorted.
Thank you. No, they are. They're incredible. I couldn't do what I do without having the backing of my team. They are. We have built the most amazing team culture. And you know, and everyone's bought into that, and they all participate. They're just such a loving, supportive, caring environment to work in, and it's, you know, it's just so incredible, and that feeds through to our clients, as you know, feeds through to our clients as well. And it's a big part of what we do at On Track Bookkeeping is that connection. To me, that connection is the number one. You've got to have that connection. And don't be wrong, there are clients where we haven't necessarily connected with, and or it hasn't quite, you know, we haven't quite met in the connection, and we've all learned and grown from those. You know, we evolve from those. And, you know, don't be put off if that happens with, you know, within your journey. Not everybody is going to want to work with you, and you're not going to want to work with everybody. You know, it's you got to pick and choose what feels right. I know when you start a business, you kind of take on everyone and anything you can, because you just want to, you know, build that income and get that level of income there. Once you kind of get past that, you know, choose you. Don't choose them. Choose you. What feels right for you.
Yes.
That brings up a tangent there.
It brings something I've seen from the dating world into my head. And it's a word I cannot say, but it said something along the lines of, like, if someone's not a yes, then it's a no. Like, it's a no. And just to understand your worth and your value. And if someone's not going to value you and your time, No.
And you can pick that up really quickly. Like if you,
Yeah.
especially if you're an empath, like I'm an empath, so I just like connect with that straight away. But even if you're not, it's like just take some time to feel and what is, did talking to that person feel right? Did, you might need to ask some more questions or have another conversation. But yeah, just trust yourself, trust your gut, and don't just say yes to everyone. Something doesn't feel right, definitely no, definitely a no.
Yeah.
Don't go there. I have been burnt time and time again when I didn't listen to my gut instinct and didn't trust my knowing. I've been burnt big time. So just that's my one piece of advice to bookkeepers out there who are growing your businesses. Just don't take on just everybody. Trust that.
It's so important. And I was talking with one of the girls in the US, and she had a story like that where she said to the guy, look, I'm really sorry, but we're not going to be a good fit, but I want to introduce you to this person. Yes. And what happened from that is that he went, I really appreciate that. I think you'd be great working, and actually gave her referrals for other potential businesses, even though she wasn't working for him, because of the way that she had handled that.
Yeah, just always with respect, honesty. Honesty gets you a long way. It really does. It really does. So
and you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting their time.
No,
as well.
That's right.
Before they potentially wasted a lot of your time.
Yes, but a lot of time can be wasted.
Exactly.
I think it's part of the initiation of being a bookkeeper, isn't it, really? But, if you can avoid it, please do.
Yeah, exactly. I think one thing I found really good was building amazing relationships with a number of accountants that my clients had as well. Yeah. And to the point that I remember one of them referred me into a guy in Christchurch, and I started working with him, and I had to call him and say, I'm going to get in trouble if I keep working for this guy. Like, he is so dodgy. He's dodgy, and I can't. Like, I need to remove myself from the situation.
Yeah, well done. That's your ethics coming into play, right? And ethics are really, really important in our industry. Is keeping that ethical standpoint top of mind.
And backing yourself. Like, I see a lot of us, we don't back ourselves. We don't back ourselves. We don't believe it. We don't have that confidence. And a lot of time you do have to fake it until you make it. But having that confidence to step out and go, no, I know my shit. Know what I'm doing. Yeah, I've got this. Absolutely. And then having that community around you to be able to go, actually, I don't know the answer to this one. Can someone help?
Absolutely. And it's okay to say to a client, actually, I need to go and research that for you. You don't have to have all the answers instantly. And that's one thing I always thought I had to have all the answers now. So I was constantly research. And it's like, I wear myself silly, honestly. Yeah. Just one thing I've learned now is, like, I'm totally honest with people, and I'll say to them, I haven't worked with that software. Let me go and investigate, and I'll see whether that's something I can help you with. One thing I know about me is I'm very good at picking up software and understanding how it works. So I can quite comfortably do that. If you can't, don't. Just say, I actually don't work with that software. Would you like me to investigate for you so that I can support you with it? Yeah, that's cool. Or I'm happy to learn it alongside of you from the supplier. Yeah. So that I can help you to operate it. Like, it's just being really honest about your limitations. And just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're not going to get the job. No. And it's always an opportunity to learn something new. Yeah. Just be really careful doing that with payroll. Yeah. Wrap yourself around with support. Yes. And looking for that training that's out there. There's always I'm a big backer of the New Zealand Payroll Practitioners Association. So if you join payroll and you're not a member of them, join, honestly. David does amazing there in the payroll space, and advocating for payroll, because he's pretty much it there. So this, what I'm teaching is not, I teach quite differently to him. So It's an add-on, I suppose,
That's
or
cool.
a different way of learning than the way he teaches. So, but yeah, he's amazing, and absolutely have all respect for David, and I love his complete blunt honesty. Some people don't connect with that at all. He's very much a male kind of blunt way of teaching, but yeah.
I know there's a great. I don't know about the USA in Canada, but I know in Australia there's also another payroll association that's really good.
Cool, good. Yeah, join an association, honestly.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got that backing of a credible organisation for what you're doing. Yeah.
Or there's also partnering with people, isn't there? Like if payroll is not your jam, then contract someone in or partner with someone to do the payroll for that business.
Yeah, we've done that with a few bookkeepers before. They're kind of going, oh, well, actually, this is outside of my kind of scope of work. Do you guys want to do it? And it's like, sure, we can help you with that.
Yeah.
We're not there to steal clients from anybody. We're there to support the industry and support the community and help people grow and develop. Don't do it on your own. Don't do what I did.
I know, don't do it, and I did because I was similar. Like when I had my business, it was solo. Like I started in 2009, and I got to that point in 2011 with the Christchurch earthquakes where I was at that decision-making point of, okay, I either need to grow this or I need to get out. Yeah. Because I'd hit that ceiling and I didn't have the skill set. I didn't know who to go to or who was around me.
Yeah. Where do I get that support from?
Yeah. So I've often said to people, I'm like, man, I wish Mel was around back then.
Yeah.
Because it was just, it was and also maybe I had the confidence to reach out to find people to ask as well. Yeah.
Those associations and communities are extremely, extremely important, and you guys are doing amazing in that space too. And so thank you from the bookkeeping community in New Zealand and the world for everything you guys do, because it's amazing, to be able to build that knowledge for bookkeepers in different areas to grow their business and to support all the small business owners that they're supporting. That's that ripple effect happening. It's just amazing to see. Yeah,
it is. It's really cool, and I just love seeing the journey that everybody is having. Like, there's just so many different stories and successes and moments and wins that everybody shares with us, which is
super cool.
Super amazing.
And even the not wins, too, because it's part of the journey. It is part of the journey, but it's part of the growth.
Yeah, and there's been a number of the students recently who have said, my win was I fired 5 clients.
Yeah.
Like I went through, I did that process and I got rid of the clients that were causing myself and the team issues. And so,
nice.
I have to love that. But
cool.
we have flown up to 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh. We could talk for hours, Anna. I don't know if everyone wants to hear it,
but we should wrap up, and I'd love to, I guess, if there's a last word of wisdom you'd love to share.
I've probably pushed out all my peelers, but just don't do it alone. Honestly, gather yourself with support, partner up with some of the bookkeepers, whether that's through an institute, an association, through the Bookkeepers Revolution, connect with other people in your area and just support each other through that, because the ripples you're creating are going to go on forever. Yeah,
that's amazing. Cool. Oh, thank you so much for your time today, Di.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
Oh, it's been great. Time has definitely gone.
It has.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And if anybody has questions, DM me, pop a note, comment in, and we will see them come through. So we look forward, and we'll probably have a chat to you again soon.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Anna. See ya.
See ya.